Good morning. Welcome once again to the Network Breakfast. Thanks so much for tuning us in today. And we're going to talk about safe ways of buying online and in person for 2021. But first, we're going to hear from our members here, and we're going to talk about who they are and what they do. So here goes. We're going to start with a good friend. We're glad to see him this morning, Ari Tiome. Good morning, Ari. Tell us something.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ari Tiome, as you said, I think. My company is Lasting Impression Direct. We are a full-time, full-service printing and direct mail company. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ari. And of course, thank you for being here. We're going to say good morning to Mike Bentley, Ask Mike, and now he's going to tell us something. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, all. I'm Mike Bentley, and I am an experienced insurance professional, and I can help you with your health insurance needs, whether it is graduating into Medicare, transitioning between jobs, questions concerning COBRA coverage, individual coverage on the marketplace. I'm your go-to person, whether you're here in the state of Ohio or whether you're in a state with warm climate like California, Florida, the Carolinas, Arizona. Ask Mike. Thank you.
Ask Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for being here. Good morning, Chris Walters.
Good morning. Chris Walters with See-Through Windows. That's vinyl replacement windows. I cover a territory from Port Clinton to the Pennsylvania border, Cleveland to Canton. I go take a look at every house that we are quoting, and within 24 to 36 hours, you will have a quote. Right now, we are looking at probably late October, early November for install. So give me a call, 330-604-0403. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for being here. And Chris is right. We're in Cleveland, Ohio. Actually, we're outside of Cleveland. Most of us, we're all on the east side. So we're going to say good morning. One of our real favorites. We count on him every week. Huh?
I missed a couple. Sorry.
He's number 20 on the scoreboard and number 1 in your hearts. that would be Jeff Hexter. Good morning, Jeff. Take it.
Thank you, Tom. I'm Jeff Hexter with Always Keep Computing. I work with professionals working from their homes that are frustrated by their Wi-Fi not properly working, their printers not properly printing, and their emails not properly sending. And I make it so that all those things work. For example, I worked with an attorney last week who has moved his office into his home and had some really old desktops, some 10-year-old desktops that we are going to be replacing and upgrading soon. So if you know anybody like that, I'd love to have a conversation with them. And every Wednesday, except when I'm out of town, I'm at Jack's Deli at Cedar and Green Roads on the east side of Cleveland here, from 9 to 11, answering computer questions for whoever will join me for breakfast. Come and join me.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. Yes, landmark restaurant, Jack's Deli. Excellent. Excellent service, great food on the east side of Cleveland. What was the 2 streets that intersect there where Jack's is?
Corner of Cedar and Green.
Cedar and Green, of course. And Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11, you'll find Jeff there. He holds court there. People bring their devices in. He'll take a look at it, or maybe you just need to talk to him about something. Excellent. Thank you, Jeff.
14490 Cedar Road, University Heights.
For those of you with GPS or a Apple Watch, we have the address, Jack's Deli, Wednesday at 9. Okay, thanks so much. So now we're going to, I'm going to share my screen.
Yourself.
Okay. My name is Tom Basie. I'm an IT professional here in Northeast Ohio. I travel from here to just above Columbus, although I will go almost anywhere to correct whatever there's going on. If you need some help with applications or with a graphic issue, or Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and also all the art programs, the main art programs in Illustrator and Photoshop. web design, I'm there. So keep me in mind. And thanks, Jeff, for reminding me to get my plug in there too. So it's Tom Basie, Northeast Ohio. What?
Chris reminded you, not me.
Oh, right. I wasn't paying attention. I'll thank all of you guys. So, okay, so at this point, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over some of the stuff you're going to know, but there might be some nuggets of information in here. So kindly pay close attention and watch all the way to the end, and please subscribe if you like, and also hit the bell so when a new video goes up, you'll know, okay? All right, so I'll share my screen and we'll see what gives. Boom. And this is it here. You'll see I use the same graphic as I did on the email. Funny little ways to pay. Safest ways to pay in 2021. Cybercrime is definitely on the rise, and many of the most troubling criminal acts center around in-person and online payment methods. So, the safest way to pay in 2021 and beyond. As you can see, cybercrime is definitely on the rise, and many of the most troubling criminal acts center around in-person and online payment methods. According to the Insurance Information Institute, new credit card account fraud was the most popular identity theft crime in 2019, with 246,763 reports, followed by miscellaneous identity theft, which was 166,875 reports. Meanwhile, other types of fraud that take place with online payment methods include phishing scams, page jacking, and even merchant identity fraud. Phishing, of course, is sending emails just hoping that somebody will click on something. The III, or the Insurance Information Institute, also reports that there were 1,473 data breaches in 2019, which is an increase of 17% from the 1,257 that took place in 2018. During a data breach, hackers and thieves can get access to your personal information, including your social security number, your address, your credit card, and debit card numbers. With all this in mind, you may be wondering about the safest ways to pay for purchases when you're shopping in a store or browsing the web. The good news is there are plenty of in-person and online payment methods that have the technology and features to keep your personal information safe. And at this point, I'm going to give a special thanks to Holly D. Johnson from Bankrate.com, where some of this was gleaned. Now, safest ways to pay in 2021 and beyond: secure online payment methods. If you're hoping to make your transactions as secure as possible when you shop online, consider the following online payment methods. Credit cards. By and large, credit cards are easily the most secure and safe payment method to use when you shop online. Credit cards use online security features like encryption and fraud monitoring to keep your accounts and personal information safe. Most insurers also offer zero fraud liability that ensures you won't be on the hook for a cent in fraudulent transactions charged to your credit card. Beyond the zero fraud liability coverage credit cards offer, you can only be legally liable for up to $50 in fraudulent charges on a credit card due to language in the Fair Credit Billing Act. There's also ACH payments, automatic clearinghouse, which let you transfer funds directly from your checking account to another bank account. This payment network adheres to plenty of security features that keep your banking information safe, such as encryption and the implementation of access controls. Then there's voice payments. According to the 2019 How We Will Pay study, which was a payments and Visa collaboration, 31% of study respondents who own a voice device like an Amazon Echo or Google Nest use their device to make purchases. If you want your voice payments to be more secure, you should set up a credit card with zero fraud liability as your preferred payment method. Of course, I have many Echoes throughout the house, and she is constantly asking me if I want to purchase items on Amazon. All I have to do is say yes, and then bang, it gets purchased and it's on the way to my house. It's very easy to buy, but you also have to be aware that they're suggesting here that you should set up a credit card that you're going to use for that account, your Amazon account, I'm guessing, that has zero fraud liability, so that if there is an issue with your voice payment, it'll be on a zero fraud liability credit card. Okay. Then there's secure in-person payment methods. Technology has also made in-person payments more secure than ever, and that's especially true for those who make payments in person using a mobile device. The following in-person payment methods boast increased security features that help protect your personal information. Credit cards with EMV chip technology. Where once you had to swipe your credit card to make an in-person payment, most credit cards today feature an EMV chip technology instead of a magnetic strip. With EMV technology, the payment terminal reads your card for the unique encrypted information transmitted by the chip on your card. Since the one-time use encrypted information is different for each transaction, this technology helps to eliminate counterfeit fraud. EMV technology has expanded rapidly over the last decade, and that's true globally and within the United States. According to a study from Thales Group, 63.8% of payment cards issued worldwide in 2019 used EMV chip technology. We're still discovering secure in-person payment methods. There's credit cards with contactless payment. Contactless payments use the same technology as EMV chip and PIN credit cards. With a credit card that allows contactless payments, you'll hold your car above the payment terminal, and the terminal will receive an encrypted one-time use code for the transaction. Before the coronavirus pandemic, countless payments were already on the rise, and this trend has only been exacerbated by the pandemic. According to a study from MasterCard, contactless payments increased twice as fast as non-contactless payments at grocery stores and drugstores between February and March of 2020. When COVID-19 first emerged in the United States, moreover, 80% of respondents to the MasterCard Global Consumer Study said they use contactless payments for their purchases. Payment apps. Payment apps like PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Facebook Pay let you store multiple payment methods in one place for convenience and security. With a payment app, you can benefit from features like multi-factor authentication, notifications, and even facial or fingerprint recognition. With Apple Pay, for example, you have to have a passcode on your device, but you can also set up Face ID or Touch ID. Apple Pay also doesn't actually store or have access to your payment information, and they don't retain any transaction information that can be tied back to you later on. Payment methods to avoid. While every type of payment method has some disadvantages, debit cards are probably the riskiest form of payment. Debit cards do offer the convenience of credit since you don't have to carry cash around or write a check, but the funds you use are actually tied to your bank account. Unlike credit cards that typically come with zero fraud liability and limit you to $50 in losses per the FCBA, debit cards only limit you to $50 in losses if you report the fraud to your account within 2 business days after you notice it. If you report fraud more than 2 business days, but less than 60 calendar days after your statement is sent to you, you could be on the hook for up to $500 in fraudulent charges. If you don't report card fraud for 60 days or more after your statement is sent to you, you could lose all the money taken from your ATM or debit card account and possibly more. For example, money in accounts linked to your debit account, according to the Federal Trade Commission. So you see, this is the most risky way, is using a debit card, of which I do use a debit card on an automatic payment monthly. So I probably, being that I'm reporting on this now, I probably will change that, because if I don't notice it, my liability will be more than $50. It could be $500, or after 60 days, it could be the entire amount, or they could empty the ATM. Yikes. Okay. And now, next page is from another perspective. This is from the World Financial Review, the 5 safest ways to make a secure online payment. Debit or credit cards. Despite not being totally risk-free, it is generally pretty safe to enter your card details online, so long as you know the site you're on is real. But nowadays, online shopping is firmly established, and most people can spot an obvious internet scam a mile away. However, it is still important to be vigilant whenever you are using your card online. Never enter your card details if you don't trust the seller, and try not to save your card number on too many sites. This will protect you from impulse buys and lower your risk of being randomly targeted by identity or financial fraud. PayPal. If you want to eliminate the risks of credit or debit card fraud entirely, a great online payment example for this is PayPal. PayPal is essentially effective as a tool for online payment because it reduces the number of people you share your details with. Instead of giving your card details to every retailer you shop with online, PayPal manages the transaction for you and keeps your information private. PayPal is also widely known for being one of the most secure tools. Your data is heavily encrypted to prevent attacks. That's PayPal. PCI compliance. If you're an online merchant and want to protect your customers, it's important to ensure that your online shop is PCI compliant. This allows the PCI Security Standards Council to run checks on your website and ensure that it meets the minimum requirements for financial security. The guidelines are tailored specifically to suit the needs of your business. So there's no need to worry that you'll be treated like a huge conglomerate when you're just a small shop. PCI simply ensures that your customers are kept as safe as possible when shopping online. NetTeller. Similar to PayPal, NetTeller is a popular method of online payment for business use, particularly in the gaming and casino industry. NetTeller allows customers to make transactions without giving away important bank details. NetTeller also allows its users to spend via a PaySafe card. This card can be topped up online, allowing customers to spend the balance when they please online. It is a popular method among people who enjoy gaming or use casinos online, as it offers you the chance to make secure, repeat payments in a fast, convenient manner. I had a customer that gambled heavily online, and he used this method to pay. He also did pretty good with it, which was amazing. Usually people lose. When you bet, you usually lose. He didn't. He was good at it. Okay, ShopPay. ShopPay is one of the many popular online payment apps. ShopPay is built into Shopify stores and can be identified by the logo, which should show up when you pass through the checkout. Not all shops on Shopify use Shop Pay, but the ones that do are generally secure. It's a thing if you love shopping online and want to make sure you choose safe online payment options. Okay, now here's some of the best payment apps. If any of these sound interesting, then I'm going to have you look them up. I was going to list all of these, but I'm thinking that you probably know these. I've heard one or more of you mentioned some of these payment methods. Back in the 90s, if you owed a friend $5, you would just pull a crisp bill out of your wallet and hand it over. These days, cash may still be king when it comes to small in-person payments, but sending money virtually between friends and family is easier than ever. If you need to send a friend, relative, roommate, or anyone else money for anything ranging from splitting a restaurant check to your share of the rent, these social payment apps have you covered. And they are as follows. The best overall is PayPal, of which I probably use PayPal every day. I take payments and issue payments to others through PayPal. I sell on eBay and the payments come in through PayPal. I buy on eBay, I buy on various other sites, and they take PayPal. For example, Home Depot takes PayPal payments. The best for friends is Venmo. I think somebody mentioned one of our guests one morning mentioned Venmo. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Yeah. Okay.
Owned by PayPal.
What?
PayPal owns Venmo,
Oh,
and Square owns Cash App. Square, the electronic, the point of sale service.
yes. Yes. Well, that's the one that's best with no frills, Cash App. And as we've just heard from learned Jeff Hexter, it's owned by Square, which is the one you plug into your phone or your iPad, and you can take payments. Best for banking is Zelle. I'm not aware of that one, and I didn't write anything down for any of these. I'm just bringing it to you if it sounds interesting. Best for Google accounts, of course, is Google Pay. They wanted to get into it because of Apple Pay. Google wants to take over the world, and soon they will. And best for social media, of course, as in most everything else, Facebook. Facebook has Facebook Messenger. And who put this together was Eric Rosenberg from a website called The Balance. And we thank Eric for putting this together. That was very nice. And now we have some of the safest ways to pay in person and online in 2021. Thank you for your kind attention. And that would do it. Now, if anybody has anything to add, I would love to hear it at this point.
I do.
Please.
Have you all heard of privacy.com?
No.
Privacy lets you create single-use credit cards. You can for free, you can connect it to a checking account, and you can create a credit card number that can have one of a combination of 3 features. It can only be used at a certain company. It can only be used a certain number of times, and it can only be used for up to a certain amount. So you can say you're buying, you have to use a credit card to buy tickets to a sporting event at some other school, and you're concerned about the legitimacy of the website they're using for that. You can go to privacy.com, create a credit card number that can only be used one time at that site with a maximum amount that can be charged, that's $20. And if that information gets out there, that credit card, you'll get an email alert that somebody tried to use it elsewhere, and it won't go, a charge won't go through. So I've been using that for a couple things. One is I just signed up for a free trial of something, and they can't charge my credit card again because the card is a one-time use card. So no matter what they try to get money from me to continue charging me, no problems.
Could you type that in our chat?
Privacy.com. It's spelled just like it sounds.
Because I looked extensively at many, probably 10 websites that listed various numbers, 5, 10, 20 ways of paying, and none of them mentioned privacy.com.
You'll give me a minute. I'll give you a link that will give you a $5 free when you sign up.
Well, we can all use $5 free. I mean, if we all did it, that's $25 we're going to pull right from today. From Ari and Mike and Chris and Jeff and me.
Just a second. I will.
$5 each.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I usually use the app, not the website. Or I use the plugin for my web browser, not the website.
Are any of us, while he's doing that, are any of us shy of purchasing online? No? Yes?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, me too. Probably every day. For not only me, but for customers and for the two main companies I work for, constantly buying online. Saves a lot of time, especially with Amazon delivering like most things I get the next day. So if I need ink for a plotter printer and they just don't carry it locally anymore, they don't, because it's such a selective item. So I order it online and I have it the next day. So, and I pay online with various credit cards, most of which are not mine because I'm buying for other people. But in my Amazon account and in my PayPal account, I have many credit cards that I can purchase items for people because I know what to buy and all of that. And I'll get probably look for a better price. Because if you just buy the first one you see, you'll probably pay too much.
The link is in the chat now. If you click on that link and sign up for privacy.com, they'll put $5 in your account just for signing up. And it doesn't cost anything to use it. It's really clever.
Okay.
For
Give us a
my wife uses Venmo all the time, especially with family members. So she may see something to buy for my grandkids or something for my daughter, and my daughter will Venmo her the money into the account or vice versa. So with family members, we use Venmo. During the pandemic, when I was still in North Carolina for a 7-week jaunt, I had to have something done landscaping in my yard. And there's a landscaping guy down the street. And I said, how do you want me to pay? You want me to send you a check? And he said, no, you can just Venmo. I said, well, I'll have my wife Venmo you. So she just Venmo'd him the payment instead of writing a check.
My wife does that all the time. She says, send this person this money on Venmo. I'm like,
Right,
okay.
right. So we use Venmo in our household for interactions and transactions between family members and friends.
Yeah, we do too.
what, Ari?
I said, we do too.
Okay. Does the recipient of the money have to have a Venmo account?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Venmo on the send and Venmo on the receive.
Right.
And is there a charge for issuing payment or receiving
No.
payment?
No, if it's personal, there's no charge.
Wow. Well, then I'll have to get me a Venmo account. Cool. How about the other ones? Does anybody use Facebook Messenger or Google Pay?
I've used Messenger, but not just for communication, not for sending money. And Google Pay, I've had some issues with security for Google, and I don't want them storing my credit cards right now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Okay, well then I guess that wraps it up for today. And if you think if you're still skittish about buying online, you could watch this again and maybe it'll help smooth over some of your fears. If not, you could you could still drive to the store and just buy everything locally, but it's getting more, it's getting tougher to do that. And also, when you buy online, it seems to me that you have more choice of the cost of the items if you're using these online websites that sell.
And with the pandemic, I've been to a number of stores that no longer accept cash. They're only accepting electronic payment
Yeah,
because they say, oh, we're short on change or we're short on cash. And again, it's less touching just to use a credit card.
well, I probably overall, probably the government would like to move away from cash if they could. But as it said in my little presentation here today, until something else comes along that's better, cash is still king. Makes everybody's ears perk up. You do something for somebody and he pulls out a wad of cash, you're there. Absolutely. But it'll probably change. Everything changes. Okay, so as for our me and the four guests we have today, we're going to stick around and talk. But for our YouTubers, we're going to wrap it up for today. And we appreciate you sticking around to the end. Please subscribe and click the bell to know that there's a new video up. Okay? All right, thanks. This is Tom Basie. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and we have Jeff Hexter, Chris Walters, Mike Bentley, and Ari Tayomi. We're visiting with you today. So check out the rest of our videos and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Tuesday morning. Thanks. Bye.